Hey everybody, thanks so much for joining us right here on The Right View. Tonight, we're joined by a man who really needs no introduction. He's a Heisman Trophy winner, national champion, former NFL player, former MMA fighter, and now a candidate for United States Senate in his home state of Georgia. Joining us tonight is Herschel Walker. Herschel, thanks for joining us on The Right View. You've got a lot going on right now. I know you just announced your candidacy for Senate in Georgia, and we're going to get to that in a minute. But I want to just talk a little bit about you. You were born and raised in Georgia, obviously. You were always into sports. We know that football is something that you're known for. Did you know that football was going to be your sport, or was there something else that kind of pulled you away, or how did that all work out? Because it really made you who you are.
Well, what's very strange is you say I was into sports, but I really wasn't. The only sporting event I used to watch was with my father and my little brother was this professional wrestling.
Oh, wow.
And I never really knew about football. I learned football from reading books and different things like that because I was a little bit overweight. I was a weird little kid. And I never really dreamed that I ever have an opportunity to play football. And even when I was in high school and I started getting the scholarships to go to college, not just in the athletic world, but the academic world, I still wanted to go to the military. I thought to serve my country was the greatest thing that I can ever do because I was very fortunate to have a mom and dad that was wonderful people. I grew up in such a small little town that seemed to love each other. And I thought I owed something back to those people there. My parents, my faith in God and to the town. So I wanted to go off and join the military.
Wow. I mean, I can totally appreciate that. There was a time in my life where I also thought about entering the military. I want to talk about your hometown. You are from a place called Wrightsville, Georgia. Is that right?
That's right. If you got 1 year to live, you go to Wrightsville because that year lasts forever. Nothing ever changed. Same old, but a little town in Wrightsville, Georgia.
You know what's funny is I am from Wrightsville Beach, North Carolina. And when I found out you were from Wrightsville, Georgia, Herschel, I feel like we have so many things in common, and we're going to talk about our working out and all the stuff you do, because I got to hear what you're up to right now with it, especially running for Senate. But you just talked about the fact that you were also getting offers to, go to college, full ride on academics. You graduated high school as a valedictorian. That's pretty amazing. At the same time playing football, did you run track also in high school?
I played basketball and baseball. I got scholarships and all those. But this is what's funny. Growing up as a little kid, I was not an athlete. I was overweight. I was a stuttering little kid, and I didn't like myself that much because kids made fun of me. But that was a change that happened to me a little early where I ended up getting beat up by a kid. And after crying and stuff going home, I sort of heard this little voice that told me to quit feeling sorry for myself. Sometimes instead of looking up, you look down all the time. And that's what I was always doing. And that's the day of my life. I started working out. I started going to the library, getting books, started reading books and stuff. And I started feeling better. And then I realized to quit worrying about what people felt about me, but worry about what I felt about myself. And that was a big change in my life. That made a big difference right there.
I feel like that is that moment for you. Look, we try, I feel like, Herschel, to coddle our children so much, especially these days in America. We want to keep our kids safe from everything. We don't want them getting bullied. We don't want them getting harassed. Parents are always involved in everything. But had it not been for that incident for you where you got essentially beat up by a kid, I mean, who knows where you would be right now? I think that sometimes we're missing the power that comes from a situation like that. And it's the times that we fail or the times that we fall down where we learn the most. Those are learning experiences. And had it not been for that for you, who knows what would have happened? I feel like kids today need to get a little more, I want to say a little tougher, but don't you feel like, are we coddling the kids in this country too much?
Well, we are. And what's so funny, the kid that beat me up, I still remember his name. It was Anthony Logan.
Oh, there you do.
He said, if you find him today, what would you do to him? I said, I wouldn't do anything. I probably would thank him. I probably thank him because you're 100% correct. He didn't just beat me up, but he woke me up. And, I remember talking to my son, Christian, one day, and I was trying to explain something to him. And I said, Christian, I want to keep you from falling in those pit holes that I had. I don't want you to make the mistakes that I made. And I kept talking to him about that. And at the end, he said, those things didn't hurt you, did it? And I felt guilty because you're 100% correct. We do coddle our kids because we don't want them to make those mistakes.
Yeah.
But to make them be better, we have to let them make those mistakes. You know, we can be there to not make it a big mistake, but I think we got to let them know that when they fail, they can get up.
Yeah.
This is
be there
here. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, be there to help them get up and help them find their way after that. But sometimes we need to let them figure things out on their own. I feel like that's such a good life lesson in general. And I feel like these days, gosh, kids, we just teach our kids that they can be sheltered from everything and, you know, go in their safe space with their puppy. I know you got a puppy, I got dogs. We know how great they are, but my goodness, that's not the real world, Herschel. And it actually does such a disservice, I feel like, to our kids in the future whenever we treat them like that. You just brought up your son, Christian. I just have to brag for a second on your son because we've had him on this show before. He was one of my favorite interviews, and he was so flattered when I told him this one thing I'm about to tell you, and I think it speaks volumes. I said, I didn't even know, Christian, who your dad was whenever I first discovered you and started following you online. And he just thought that was the greatest thing, Herschel, that I didn't even know that he was your son.
Well, you know what's strange is he want to make it on his own. And
right, which I think is wonderful.
Yeah, I'm so proud of him because he sometimes, I remember I used to come pick him up from school, and I love this. And I say the little guy, he's not a little guy, he's a little adult. I used to go pick him up from school, and when he was in high school, and I would grab him and hug him and kiss him and stuff. And he's like, Dad, can you please not do that like that? I don't want people to know that you're my dad like this. And I said, guys, I just love you so much. But his whole time, he's always wanted to make it on his own. And I'm so proud of him because that's what he's done. You know, the guy speaks 3 different languages and stuff, and he writes those languages as well. And he is a very good student. He's an incredible athlete, but that's not what he wanted to do. And that's what I told someone. I don't try to put myself onto him. I let him do what he's enjoyed doing, and that's what I encourage all parents to do. Let your kids do what they want to do, not what you want them to do. And then always give your kids positive reinforcement. You know, and you know this, you know, you don't want to just totally degrade your kid and put him down. You know, you want to correct him with positive reinforcement. That's what I always done with Christian. And he knows right from wrong. He knows the things to do. He knows how to give to others. And that's why I'm proud of him. I'm so proud. I love him to death.
Yeah, I mean, it's when he told me that, it told me what kind of dad you were for him. You know what I mean? That you instilled a work ethic, obviously, in him, that you wanted him to be able to do things on his own, and that he wanted that too. I think it's a really, really cool thing. But I want to talk about your work ethic.
Yes.
You had all this going on. We're talking about that you were valedictorian, scholarships in basically all sports, possibly, you know, for just being valedictorian, for your educational aspect of things. Was the work ethic something that you always had? Did it come from your parents? How do you think that you ended up like that?
Well, it definitely came from my parents. You know, my parents, you know, they brought me up in the church. I was brought up in the church. And one thing that was very unique about my parents is, you know, I remember they used to come home from work, and no matter what they no matter how tired they were, whatever the kids outside was doing, they would come out and play with us. They did stuff with us, and it was absolutely amazing. And my father only went to the 3rd grade. He didn't have the possibility of going into father because he had 6 sisters and a mom. He lost his father earlier, so he became the man of the house. But I tell Christian this, if I can be a dad to him like my dad was to me, I've done a great job. Because my dad taught me right from wrong. He taught me to obey the law. He taught me to love this country. He taught me how to get out and work for what I wanted. And I said, that's what you got to teach your kids. And you know, people ask me, who's my hero? And, you know, the first thing I say is the Lord Jesus Christ. Says, no, who's your human heroes? And I say, it's my mom and dad, because, you know, they taught me how to work. And that's all they need to do is taught me how to work. And they taught me how to sacrifice. And that's one reason I've learned in life. If you sacrifice, you learn how to give to others. And I think that's the greatest gift you can learn from your parents.
Gosh, isn't it so true? I mean, I think I would say the same thing, you know, and you really get such an appreciation for it when you become a parent yourself, for first of all, how hard it is to be a good parent, but all of the things that your parents did to make you the person that you are. It's really amazing to see. So I totally agree with you on that. So you recently, I want to get to this kind of meetup you had with your teammates. The 1980 team from Georgia, you guys recently all got together and you were honored. What happened with that? Can you tell me more about that?
Well, that was a wonderful time because in 1980, Georgia won a national championship, and they were not predicted to win the national championship. We were predicted to have an okay team, but something that was very unique, which is going on in this country today, we had some good leadership, like good senior class leadership. We had guys that have been there for a long time. They've gone through a tough time. And they were great leaders. We had some great coaches, and they brought in some freshmen like myself. We came in, we were good athletes, but you also need leaders. Yeah. And those guys, they were leaders. They took control of everything. And one thing is, there's a guy by the name of Francisco Ross, and I call him Frank. He was the first Latino American to play at the University of Georgia. Well, what's fun is he's kept that team together over 40-something years. He's kept that team together, and no time we call each other, we love each other, we continue to communicate, we know each other's family. He has kept us together this whole time, and he brought us together to have a 40th year anniversary. And the majority of the guys came back that was able to come back. Some have passed away, but their wives and kids are still welcome to come. And that was a great time. So guys could fellowship and see that this is the greatest country in the world. You see guys together, they're fellowshipping, and we were, like I said, we were not picked, we were not the biggest, we were not the fastest, but one thing about it is Coach Doolittle told us that if we stay together, you play as a team, and there's a big team, but there's a little me, said we can win a championship. Well, those 3 years I was at Georgia, we went out and we beat everybody out there, and we were an incredible team, and I think that's what you learn in life, that when you got good leadership and you work hard, you can accomplish great things.
Yeah, gosh, it's so true. And that brings me to sort of the next question that I have for you. I mean, you've done so much. You've had this incredible career in the NFL. You even competed in the Winter Olympics, Herschel, on the bobsled. I mean, this is straight out of Cool Runnings. I can't even get over it. It's so great. You have a 2-0 record in mixed martial arts. You are a 5th degree black belt in Taekwondo, and now you're running for United States Senate. Clearly, you have a long history of never backing down from a challenge. You're always up for anything. You're a hard worker. You have to be to get through all of those things. So why did you decide ultimately that you wanted to run for Senate in your home state? Because gosh, you see how hard they make it for Republicans these days, Herschel. You have to know what's coming down the pipe for you, what they're going to come after you with, especially in the state of Georgia. Why did you decide you wanted to run?
Well, I talk about sacrificing all the time. Over the last almost 15 years, I've been at a military base. Every 3 weeks, I'm at a military base somewhere in the world. And some of the greatest heroes of our young men and women of service that go out and do things to save this country, the greatest country in the world. And I watch them do it. And I talk about sacrifice, and I talk about all the struggles that they go through, how they can get help. For our young people, I'm always telling the young people, if you want to make good grades, you got to sacrifice. You can't be on your iPhone. You can't be on the phone calling your friends. You got to study. If you want to be a good athlete, I'm serious, you got to sacrifice. You can't be going out to the bars. You can't be dating. You can't be doing all the things. I talk about sacrificing. Well, this country has given me so much. And right now, something is wrong. Things are not going right. We have leaders in Washington that's not doing what's right for this country. And there's an opportunity where there's a guy in Georgia that has taken that Senate seat that's not doing the right thing. And there's one guy that can beat him, and it's Herschel Walker. And if I don't sacrifice to take him out of that seat, I think I'll regret it the rest of my life. And I'm not here to say that he's a terrible guy because, he got to do what his people want him to do. But one thing about me, I'm going to do what's right for the people. It got nothing to do with the Republican Party, nothing to do with this, but what's right for the people. What's going on right now, this is a country of law and order. This is a country of strong military. This is a country that believes in school choice. These are fundamental things that we believe in, that they're trying to take away from us. They're even trying to take your Christian belief away from you. Well, if I don't stand up now, who's going to stand up? And I'm not a guy to sit on the bench. I don't like to sit on the bench, and I want to get involved. And I think by me getting involved, it's going to get more people involved. You're involved. And I guarantee you there's more people out there that love America than the loud voices that are shouting, America is terrible. And I want to let those people know you got a champion in Washington. You put me in Washington, you get behind me, you will have a champion in Washington that's going to fight every day, every 24 hours a day, every week, every month, to let people know this is the greatest country in the world. I will support everyone in the world because everyone in this country are my family.
Love it. And that's so true. Can't we get back, Herschel, to all being one American family, remembering that we are more alike than we are different? And the media goes out of their way every single day to try and divide Americans because their ultimate goal is very nefarious. I believe their ultimate goal is to turn America into a socialist country. And they know that if people don't love this country, that they won't fight for it. They know if we turn against one another, then we won't realize what's going on. And I love your message. And I love also, Herschel, that you're not a politician. It's very similar, I feel like, to my father-in-law. We have seen, I think, thanks to Donald Trump, so many people get involved in politics that have no history of politics, that have never been political in their lives because they see that, gosh, if Donald Trump can do it and do it for the right reasons and do a great job, then why can't I do it? And that's what we need. We don't want career politicians representing America in Washington, D.C. We want people like you and like people that have had businesses, that have actually worked for a living, that have, signed the front of a paycheck instead of the back of a paycheck. We want people who get it going to D.C. And that's what I love about you. You're not a politician.
And that's what I've told everyone. And I'm not a politician. I'm here for the people. And, it is sad that, I watch people put this country down, and you mentioned it early on. I was on the Olympic team, the Winter Olympic team. The most proudest moment of my life is to see the United States team come into an arena and watch all these other countries like, oh, they're amazed. And I say, we're more alike than we are different. And they bring up this racism thing now. And I said, they want separation. And what's funny is in my Bible that I study, the only separation I've seen is believers and non-believers. And even the believers got to help the non-believers. I've never seen separation of color. I've seen people coming together with great minds. And this is one of the youngest countries in the world today, the United States of America. But the reason we're the greatest country in the world is we have a melting pot of a lot of great minds, not just one mindset, but a lot of great minds. I don't care what color you are, what creed, you got all of them thrown into a melting pot that came up with all these bright ideas that made America what it is today. And I said, these leaders that go to Washington got to be held accountable because they take the oath to defend the Constitution of the United States of America. That's the oath that they take, but yet they're trying to change it. So why no one not kicking them out, impeaching them? They got to go. They don't even want to defend it. The same as our military take the oath, I will defend this country, foreign and domestic, and they're punished if they do the wrong thing. Right. So now we have to elect people that hold people accountable for things that they do.
That's exactly right. Gosh, I mean, think about what could have already happened if we actually had accountability in Washington, D.C., what we've seen happen under Joe Biden, the less than 9 months now that he's been president. It's been absolutely horrific. We know they were happy to impeach Donald Trump over anything they possibly could, yet Joe Biden just gets a free pass, Herschel, to destroy our country, to embarrass us on the world stage. They're happy to let him do any and everything possible to tear this country down without fear of impeachment, without any repercussions. It's crazy, but that's why I love that you're running for this seat. And I think there are going to be some great people elected in November of 2022. Did you have, though, any reservations about doing this? Because, look, you've known Donald Trump for a long time. You've been a friend of our family for a long time. You saw firsthand how quickly the media will turn on you when you enter politics and you have an R next to your name. Did you feel like, maybe, I don't know if I want to do this after seeing all they did to my father-in-law and, quite frankly, our family over the past, 6 years?
I had no hesitation at all because I trust Donald. I trust the president. I trust him so much. And, people can say what they want to say about him, but he did some incredible things for this country that people don't even realize. And when people start realizing, and they see it today, let's be honest, you see the poll number for Biden is going way down. His approval rating is falling because people don't want to higher taxes. People don't want to pay more for their milk, more for gas prices. And they're seeing this happen within a couple of months. They're seeing this happen. You see what he did in Afghanistan. People are like, whoa, what is going on here? They're trying to erase everything President Trump did. And the people now are starting to wake up and say, wait a minute. this guy here was absolutely incredible. And I say this, President Trump was my friend. I'm not nobody that's going to run out on my friend. And I know the type of man he is. I know the type of man he was to me. He's the type of man that cares about people. He cares about his family, and he will fight for this country. You know, how in the world can you say that you want your president of the United States to love the United States of America? You don't want him to love some other country. You want him to love the United States of America. And he's the one, when everything goes to the crap in a handbag, I guarantee you, he's the one you want to be at that helm. He's the one that would be in control. He's not the one that's going to be nervous and not know what to do. He's the one you want there to be in control.
That's right. I alluded to this at the beginning of the interview, but you and I know we've talked about this before, Herschel. You and I are like crazy workout people,
yes.
Right? First of all, when are we working out together? Because tell me where I need to go. I guess I need to come to Georgia. I moved to Florida, so we're kind of closer now than maybe we were before. But what's happening with your fitness schedule? Has it been impacted by your campaigning for Senate? I know you're like me and you got to get it in. So are you still making time to work out? And what are you doing these days? What can I join you to do?
Well, there's no doubt. And we are getting closer, and we'll make it happen, because now I'm having a campaign all over the country. But my workout hasn't changed that much. I'm just getting up a little earlier now.
Yeah.
I'm sleeping even less, and I didn't sleep that much at all then. I'm sleeping less, and I'm getting the workout in. That's one thing I cannot do. I have to get the workout in, because there's no matter what, there's somebody that always wants to challenge me in something, and just because I'm a politician doesn't mean I'm not ready. So I let them know I'll be your huckleberry. You know, I'm always ready to go. And so my workout is still like the 1,500 push-ups every day, the 3,500 sit-ups. Even though I may not sleep, but I'm getting them in before I go to sleep, or when I get up, before I go on any campaign thing, I'm getting my workout in.
Good for you. By the way, it's so important. I feel like it just gets you focused and kind of honed in on what you need to get done. For me, like I have to, or don't you ride a bike too? Aren't you a bike rider?
I do. I cycle. If I'm on a stationary bike, I try to do at least 50 miles on a stationary bike. And if I'm out on the road, I do anywhere between 100 to 75 and stuff on a road bike. But I
thought I was doing a lot, Herschel. I'm doing like 30 miles. Like that's
that's
long ride on Sundays.
No, that's very good. But you know, people don't know. I used to do like a lot of the racing things on bikes. So I used to race up to like do this race 150 miles, like this race and stuff. But I love cycling and stuff. And you know, for someone like me, cycling is great because there's not a lot of pounding on your knees and stuff. So, but I love to get out and jog a little bit. And you know, and one thing I want to tell a lot of people at my age, well, I'm still young, but they ought to get in a swimming pool. A swimming pool, a lot of pool work is very good for you. Swimming or running in the water. Running in the water is great for your knees and stuff. So that's a good workout.
Have you done any triathlons before?
I haven't. I thought about doing it, but you know, my swimming is not great.
But here's the thing. All right, if you were promoting swimming, biking, and running, you're already done. Like we're there. That's one of the things I love to do. Maybe we can get a triathlon on the calendar for the two of us in the coming, I don't know, let's say 5 years, because I know you got to do the Senate run.
Yeah, we're making a fundraiser.
Oh my God, let's do it, because I think it would be amazing. You're right, swimming is so great. And what I love about swimming and biking actually is that I feel like I'm just in my own zone. And it's the only time I don't have people calling me, trying to talk to me, my kids hanging off of me. You know what I mean? Like that is your time. I feel like it's so important that we set aside at least a little bit of time for ourselves. Life is so crazy and hectic for so many people. You got to find something that works for you.
And you have to set aside some time for yourself, just to get peace of mind for yourself. And I think that is great for people. And to get out to work out like on a bike, you get out on a bike, you're free. You just ride and don't have to worry about it.
My God. Okay. So we're going to set, coming soon, folks, the Lara Trump Herschel Walker triathlon fundraiser. Yes. I don't know. We're going to work on it behind the scenes. We'll let you know. So I ask everybody, Herschel, and I feel like this is so important, especially given your Senate run. What do you think is the best part of America, and what do you feel is the biggest threat to the future of our country?
You know, I think the best part of America is you can always have the America's dream, that no matter what, you can make a mistake and you can still succeed in America. Whereas in other countries, you make a mistake, that's it. But in America, you can still have the America's dream. And I think the worst thing is separation, where they're trying to separate people from color to economics, from anything like that. I think that's the worst thing about you can do, because if you do things like that, you have no country. And that's one of the things I want to just throw this out. And people got to remember, if you have no border, you have no country. We have the security border with border, you have to say where the borders end, where they begin. Otherwise, you have no country. And people got to remember that.
That's true. And look at what's happening right now. It's a disgrace. All right, before we let you go, how can people get involved with your campaign?
Well, I love for them to get involved. Go to Team Herschel, because I said it ain't about Herschel winning, it's about the team.
I love that. That's so great.
.com, and you can get involved, find out more of what's going on, because one thing I'm going to start doing this week is, this coming week, I'm going to start doing some listening sessions around Georgia, because I want to know what the people are saying. I want to know what the people are saying and not what Herschel Walker is saying, because it's not about me. My opinion don't matter. What matters is the people's opinion.
Right. Gosh, how refreshing to have someone running for an office that actually wants to represent your constituents. Imagine if more of the folks in Washington, D.C. took a page out of your playbook, Herschel. It would really be great. Well, I want to say good luck with everything. We're going to work on our fundraiser. And thank you so much for spending some time with us here on The Right View. We're going to keep an eye on things. I know it's just ramping up. We got a little over a year to go, but a lot of great things, more great things coming from Herschel Walker. So Herschel, thanks for joining us here on The Right View. And to everybody at home, as always, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you back here next time for more of The Right View.